Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviriyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May God protect both teacher and student. May He nourish us together. May we work together with great energy. May our studies be enlightening. May there be no hate among us. Om, peace, peace, peace. All right. Any question, any doubt, anything that you'd like to share? Remember, Tuesday is the time when the thought process or it is a satsang where we share our thoughts, where we share our feelings, our impressions. So it should be two-way. It need not be one way. And I do not remain the speaker all the time. So anything that you related to what we have spoken last? How many of you remember what did we speak last? Okay, that's nice. I expected it.
Hari Om Acharya ji, few weeks back, you had briefly touched on topic of Sahej meditation, with the promise to come back to it later, but it somehow got lost in time. Can we?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, sure enough. Of course, I will only speak about the dharana, dhyana, or let's call that a meditation if you like. As of my experience, what I have gone through. And it is one of my very fond memory of my journey. Some of you may not know, but my spiritual journey began with that Sahej, dharana, dhyana, or Sahej meditation. And I do not want how long ago, but it was pretty long ago when I was introduced to the form of meditation known as a Sahej meditation, which is literally means effortless. So is that what you mean, Kapilji? Is that the subject? Okay.
Ji, Acharya ji, could we go deeper into that?
Okay. So it's very simple and easy to understand. What is meditation according to your understanding? What is meditation? Is it something that you have to train yourself to do, or is it something that you need to learn something, or is it something that somebody has to teach? What is meditation? I mean, just throw your views on what is meditation.
From what I have gathered, it is a state of thoughtlessness, and I feel it comes with practice, and to each his own pace. I mean, there's some people achieve that level fast enough, and some people it can take a few lifetimes also. But I'm okay with that, with my speed. But the constant thriving to get to that level is always there.
Well, actually, the word meditation, it does not mean thoughtlessness. because thoughtlessness, if you reach that level of thoughtlessness, you would not be in position to describe what state you were in.
Correct.
Right? Because you had no thoughts, because you transcended the thoughts or mind. And therefore, you have no memory of what did you do and how did it happen and what was your experience. And that's probably it's the beginning of samadhi. Whereas meditation, in my point of view, is a mindfulness, concentration, or focus. A mindful or complete awareness on any one point or subject, a subject of a nature of higher values. It need not, to start with, to learn the focusing of your mind, of being mindfulness, you can pick anything. You can pick any object, for example, keep a flower in front of you and keep looking at the flower, watch it intensely, close your eyes. The impression is imbibed in your subconscious mind. With your eyes closed, you can see the flower and you can stay with watching flower with your eyes closed. And if you are able to hold on your focus on flower without opening eye, that is meditation. Because and then you have no other thoughts. You are only focused on one object. However long it is, it could last few seconds or few minutes, whatever it is. That's the beginning of meditation. Yeah. So remember, if you are reading a book of your liking, yeah, for example, any book or magazine or whatever article that you are reading of your choice, of your liking, as you read, you get completely engrossed. Yeah. When you get so engrossed that you do not know what's happening surrounding you, what's happening in around you. You do not have it. It does not bother you because you are so fully engrossed in whatever you are reading. Or, for example, whatever you are seeing, for instance, if you are seeing something of your interest and you get completely engrossed in it, at that point of time, your mind cannot process any other thought because your concentration is 100% on that particular image or article or whatever. Same thing. A dancer, for instance, ask a dancer, when dancer is dancing, does the dancer get a thought, other thought while dancing? They do not. Moment they get other thought, they will fumble, they will lose their performance. So is the singer. When you are into it, 100%, that's meditation. So the meditation is not just simply sitting with your eyes closed. Meditation can happen while whatever that you are doing, provided you give your 100% to it. You are not half-heartedly, you are not doing this and that. Then meditation cannot happen. Now, when you do it with awareness, pick up, let's say, a holy book, for example, or holy chanting, or listening to certain, somebody is preaching you some higher values, and you so completely put your attention to it, as they call mind and heart, yeah, head and heart, that's meditation. Because at that time, your mind do not entertain other thoughts. It is not disturbed by other thoughts. But when that happens, it is happening effortlessly. You are not aware that you are into meditation. You are not aware that you are going to do meditation. It just happens because your mind is in alignment with the subject, which is of your innate nature. Yeah, something that of your great interest. When that happens, becomes a Sahej meditation because it's effortless. Yeah, take any example. You watching a sport, yeah, on television or on a video, a sport of your choice, sport of your interest. While watching that sport, you are completely lost. You are just watching that. You have no idea what else is happening. That's meditation. That's effortless. You do not know that you are into meditation. So meditation is a mindfulness on one particular subject, but it must be 100%. This is the first level. Then you graduate to second level, where you pick a subject of higher values. Yeah. For example, let's continue same example of watching a show. Instead of watching a sport, watch a discourse of a saint or Swami or Guru or teacher who is teaching you something of higher value. Yeah. When you are listening to it, what is happening? You are the listener. You are listening to something that is being told, and the person whom you are listening to is an orator. So there are three: the speaker, the listener, and the listening, the process of it. Three things involved. Yeah? When you are so completely listening to it, and you are an intense listener, you are in meditation. You are in meditation, because at that time, when you give your complete attention to whatever is spoken, your mind cannot process other thought. It could last few seconds, few minutes, it does not matter. And that's the practice of Sahej meditation, that you pick up something that of your interest, innate nature, as it's called, call it swabhava. Yeah, in Sanskrit it's called swabhava. So there are three parts. Swabhava is first, your innate nature. Swadharma is the second level, which is external conditioning. Yeah, external conditioning, and therefore you follow that, it becomes a swadharma. And third level is Paramatma. So three levels of your intention, your attention. And that's when you coordinate all three, that becomes your Sahaj Samadhi or Sahaj meditation. Swabhava is your innate nature. Yeah, your personal, your, let's say your individuality. You come with that kind of nature. It's something individual. That's Swabhava. Second thing is Swadharma, which is external. So you are influenced by external circumstances, external influences. That becomes your Swadharma. And when these two are not aligned, when they do not harmonize, then whatever action that you do or whatever thoughts you entertain becomes paradharma, which is not yours. It is enforced, paradharma. But when the swabhava and swadharma are in harmony and they are in alignment, then you are in materialistically, in worldly sense, as well as spiritual point of view, you evolve. You evolve. The choice is the subject, whether it's worldly or spiritual. But remember, Swadharma and Paradharma. Swabhava must be in alignment. That means your personal choice and the circumstances of external circumstances, if they are in harmony, there is a greater opportunity to evolve. And this is what I mean. Sahaj meditation is to be aware that what is your swabhava, what is your innate nature. Yeah? And then notice is your circumstances, your external forces are helping follow your swadharma or not. If your external circumstances are not helping you to evolve your swabhava, then you knowingly or unknowingly following paradharma. Paradharma is enforced action, enforced emotions, enforced influences. And the Sahaj meditation is something that you have to develop. First step is to realize that to pick up a subject of your innate nature. For example, my innate nature is to speak or to have a dialogue or do a chatting on the subject related to spirituality or consciousness. Yeah, that's my innate nature. If I meet somebody who has the similar choice, which is your swadharma, external condition, my swabhava and swadharma are in harmony. They match, and therefore it helps you to evolve. Now imagine that when you have certain interest, let's say you have interest in watching cricket or you following a game of a cricket. If you meet somebody who also has the same interest, you are in coordination with your swabhava, which is you are watching cricket or following cricket, your external circumstances or conditioning, which is swadharma, is also subject of cricket. Then there is a harmony. It evolves you enhance your knowledge on the sport. Yeah. But if you meet somebody who is a fan of a volleyball or a hockey or whatever other, then your swabhava does not match the swadharma or external circumstances, and therefore it does not help you to evolve in your swabhava. Got it? The same thing. It's the same thing. Be aware. And that's why it says you must find a company of like-minded. Why do we enjoy company of like-minded? It's just because it helps you grow. When you are in that condition of growing, you are completely engrossed. You are 100% into that. That's Sahaj meditation. Your mind is only occupied with one subject. Effortlessly, you are in meditation.
Acharya, last week's discourse, your closing lines were left me a lot of thought process, because I suddenly became uncomfortable with the word transcendent, because you said from chitta to chit, from jivatma to atma. It's not a journey, it's a realization.
Yeah.
In the same way, the everyday prayer that we do, tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya, is also not a journey but a realization.
Yes, the prayer that we do is it is a journey, you may say, but it's basically affirmation to drop your ignorance and gain the knowledge. For example,
it's a form of realization, isn't it?
Yes. It's what is your avidya? What is your ignorance? Your ignorance is that you are in darkness. Yeah. And therefore the prayer says, lead us from darkness to light.
Light.
But we do not know that we are already light. We are that divine light already. Because we attach our existence or our identification as this body mind, therefore we say, lead us from darkness to light. The day you know for sure that you are the light, you are the consciousness, the divine consciousness, the divine light, then this prayer is not required. Then there is no darkness. Yeah, because you are the light. Yeah. So lead us from mortality to immortality. That's because you attach your identification to this body mind as Jivatma. But when you know for sure that you are that pure consciousness, then there is no duality, there is no difference, there is no that I am lower self and there is something higher self or something with supreme. No, you are already that. There is no journey. There is no space required. You have to go from your home to that temple to get that knowledge. No, sitting where you are right now, right here, that happens. There is no journey required. There is no time that after 10 years, after my practicing of 10 years, I will get that enlightenment. No, that can happen now, right now. So there is no time, there is no space required. You do not need a teacher. The moment you are into that, let's say you convert your sight within yourself instead of external objects, start looking into you and ask yourself, what am I? Simple as that. Again, I said, many times I said, do not look for answer. There is no answer for it. The question is more important. The quest that you are checking, what am I? Am I this body? The body is changing all the time. Yeah, so I cannot be the body. Am I the mind? The mind has plenty of thoughts, keep changing. I cannot be the mind. Am I this intelligence? Am I this so-called buddhi? No, because as you all know, at different level of life, our intelligence change. So who and what you are something which enables the body to exist, which enables the mind to operate, which enables the buddhi to function. It is that energy, it is that power, it is that, I can only say that, T-H-A-T, that, it is that. That is what you are. And people call it different name, consciousness, Atma, spirit, God, whatever you may say. But that you are. And that's, at that last slide, I said, in this context, I will talk further about the three aspects of seen, seeing, and seer. Yeah. All of you are looking at camera, and what do you see? You see an image of a person, and that's all what you see right now. So what is seen is the person in your camera. Yeah, that's seen. The process of what is seen and what I perceive is the seeing, the process. And who is the seer? Who sees it? What is it that sees? Right now, I see 7 people or 6 people in my camera or on my screen. So I see, that becomes seen. The light that reflects. And that is the process of seeing. What is seen? Seeing is nothing but a reflection of an image. Yeah? And everything is the light. You cannot be, nothing can be seen if there is no light. So there is a scene, there is a process of seeing, and that the most important is there must be someone who is seeing it, seer. Seen, seeing, and seer. Now ask yourself, are you the seer? You are seeing right now, you are seeing me, but who is seeing? Is it Ritu seeing, Kapilji seeing, Aditi seeing? Who is seeing? In reality, in absolute truth, who is the seer? The obvious answer is, I answer on your behalf. My first obvious answer would be, my eyes are seeing. So eyes are seer. Okay. But we all know the eyes is only an instrument. It's only a tool. Eyes have no power to know what is seen. It only captures the image or the reflection of the light. Then through the retina, the nerves carry the image, which is upside down, by the way. I see you with your head up and body down, but when it is imbibed through my retina, it is your head down and body up. Yeah, that's the science. So through the retina, the image is passed on through the nerves to a particular part of your brain. Yeah. It's a tiny part of your brain which receives the image. It has, and all the neurons in our brain, we have few million neurons in our brain, few million neurons. All those neurons communicate all the time with each other, millions of them. How do they communicate? Through the electric currents. There are sparks. There are literally, as if you turn on the light, there are sparks that happens. Same way, there are sparks that goes through the neurons. Those sparks carry the message, and it is communicating with that little part. Instantly, that little part of your brain gives you, responds to you and tells you, I am seeing a table, I am seeing a flower, I am seeing Aditya, I am seeing Kapilji. It's not my eye who recognizes you. It is not my retina who recognizes you. It is the mind. Let's call it a mind, right? Or brain, whatever you call it. It is that organ that identifies who it is, what is the object of seeing. Now, if it is a mind, is it really the mind who is the seer or a brain who is the seer? Think about it. It cannot be, because it's the same mind or same brain also see other things instantly. If I turn my face to other side, I see the grass, or I see the swimming pool, or I see the, whatever else around me. So is that mind seeing? No, it is not the mind. It is ultimately, if you take a step back, one step back further, it is that energy, that power, call it a consciousness, that allows your mind to function. That energy, that consciousness is the seer. But the moment you recognize that it is the consciousness which is seer, then you are seeing the consciousness. Then you're trying to find that consciousness, trying to find that energy. The moment you try to find something, it becomes seen. It becomes object. It becomes a material or matter. But it is not a matter. The spirit or energy is not a matter. The consciousness is not a matter. Bottom line is, the seer can never be seen. You can never see a seer. Moment you find a particular thing and say that is what is seeing, then that is not the seer, because you are trying to objectifying it. You're trying to identify that that particular organ is seeing. Organ is object. Consciousness is not object. And that's why what is more important is, do not worry about who is the seer. Do not worry about what is seen. Be aware of the process, the seeing. The moment your attention is diverted or disturbed, you lose the scene. Yeah, and the seer has only a witness, is only observer, has no involvement whatsoever. So it's the process of seeing which is much more significant. Now, when I say seeing, it's just one sense object. It can be hearing, it can be taste, it can be touch, any of these five sense organs that we have, there are three aspects of it. There is a sound, there is a listener, there is a listening that happens, the process. Yeah. You can never identify who is the listener. Because the moment you say my ears are listening, ears are only objects. It's only tools. It has no power to decode what is heard. Yeah, it's only waves. What is the sound? Sound is nothing but waves. Yeah, so it enters in the form of waves through your ears. That wave is carried by nerves, tiny nerves, to another part of your brain, which has a capability of decoding or organizing those waves, sound waves, and it comes out with the particular sound or particular words or particular whatever is the sound. Yeah. So it is that mind has a function of decoding and listening. So is that the listener in that case? No, because mind is object. Mind is changing all the time. Yeah, that portion of the brain or mind has ability to decode other messages or sound. So it cannot be the listener. Then who is the listener? The listener is that energy, that power, that spirit, which allows that brain, that part of your mind to function. And that becomes the listener. But the moment you close your eyes and say, okay, if that is the case, let me find that listener. You have no answer. You cannot identify the listener. Where is it? Is it in a brain? Is it in your ears or eyes or nose? No. So where is the listener? Where is the seer? The moment you find an answer, you will lose it. And that's why it says, as long as you stay with the question, as long as you stay with that, what am I? And stay with that all the time and go into that contemplation of thinking of what am I, suddenly you will have no more question, because you will realize all that I do. Same example of seeing and seer. What is seen exists in consciousness, because nothing can escape the consciousness. Am I right? It's like a balloon. What is inside balloon is the air. What is outside balloon is also air. So all that we see, all that we perceive, all that we hear exists in consciousness. Number one. Number two, the process of seeing, the process of hearing, that process also happens in the space. And the space is nothing but consciousness. Yeah. At the distance, wherever you are and wherever I am, through this so-called technology, we are able to see each other or listening to each other. But there is a space between you and me. That space exists in consciousness. Third level, whatever is the seer or whatever is the listener, that is consciousness itself. In other words, all three levels, seeing, and seer, all three is same. Two part, the seeing and seeing exist in consciousness, and the seer is the consciousness. But this cannot be conclusion. You cannot conclude it, because the moment you conclude it, you want to know where is it? How is it? Where does it stay? Where is it existing? You're trying to find an answer. You want to know what is that consciousness? How does it look like? What is it, the size, shape, color? There is no size, shape, color of a consciousness. So you can never prove it. You cannot identify it. And yet, that is all that is the absolute truth. So the mystics in these gurus and the rishis have said, do not look for answer, because there is no answer. Same as chitta and chit. Chitta, we can say it is jivatma because there is a body, mind, intellect, which are super influenced or superimposed on the consciousness. Right? So if you have a glass of water, a plain pure water, and you try to put a drop of red color, the water turns into red. But was water red? No, water has no color. It was colorless. It is influenced by something which you have added, a drop of red color or liquid or green, whatever color. So in reality, or take a sky, for example. What is the color of sky? Sky is nothing but a space. Does it have any color? You could say, yes, if it is a clear sky, it is blue. If it is cloudy, it is white or gray. But white or gray is not the quality of the sky. It is something which is influenced or which is overimposed by other cloud or other gases. Yeah, the clear sky becomes blue sky. Why is it blue? It's nothing but a reflection of a sunlight. Sunlight passes through certain amount of space with whatever gases that exist, call it a gravitational force or call whatever name, has those chemicals and gases through which the sunlight penetrates, and it happens to be reflecting a blue color. At the sunset, you will see the color turning orangish or reddish. So it is not the color of the sunlight. Sunlight has no color. Same is consciousness. Consciousness is Sat, Chit, Ananda. That's it. You can never see it. You cannot identify it. Even to call it a Sat, Chit, Ananda is the play of our mind. Some guru, some saint trying to give attribution, give a, let's say, make it easy for the follower or the public to know what it is, and so he calls it Sat Chit Ananda. But you cannot describe it. You can never identify it. And therefore, stay with the quest. What am I? Therefore, this subject of non-duality and to come to the knowledge of there is no other. There cannot be other. If everything is consciousness, consciousness alone exists. Everything else that you see or perceive is superimposed, is only an appearance. As I said, this sound is originally waves. Similarly, all the objects that we can see in reality, it is in form of waves. Now, waves does not mean it is the wave like on the ocean or in the sea. The waves need not have the same movement. Waves can have a different movements. Some waves are like ocean, waves of ocean. Some waves is like a steep rising and then drop suddenly. So the waves have different pattern. Some waves goes like a bar, straight. Some waves goes in the circular form. So the formation of wave is not important, but everything that exists exists in the form of waves. And as it says, it has a potential of taking any shape, form, color, because it is only waves made of atoms. And as you have some information about the quantum physics says these atoms exist everywhere. And what atom you pick now here, the same atom you cannot pick, by the way, because atom is so tiny, eyes cannot see, even binocular, even any tech gadget cannot identify atom. And therefore, the science call it dark matter, because they cannot understand how it exists. What is atom seen here, simultaneously, it's the same atom, pops up thousands and millions of miles away, simultaneously, same point of time. How does that happen? It only happens, as I said, in the brain. We have millions of neurons, and it processes the communication through the electric currents. And the speed of that electric current is much more than the speed of a light. Yeah. So our mind, we have not capable to understand how does this happen. But that's the other word of it is this energy, waves, different form of, we call it atoms, the science calls it atom, the other calls it consciousness, particle of consciousness, or crystallization of consciousness. But at our level, now this we are talking about the absolute truth. The relative truth is that we are Jivatma. We have body, we cannot deny. We have mind, we cannot deny. We have intelligence, we cannot deny. That's our reality. But that reality is a relative truth. It's only appearance. And that's why it is known as avidya, ignorance. And because of that avidya, which is a wrong impression of body, mind, intelligence, it leads us to certain desires, because we have body, we have mind, we have intelligence. So it raises desires. The body wants to look handsome or beautiful. That's a desire. The mind wants to be intelligent. Yeah, that's a desire. So the wrong identification of body, mind, intelligence raises the desire, which is karma. And because of the desires, your desires leads to action. Because you want to achieve something, you need to put an action. That becomes karma. Yeah? So avidya leads to karma. Karma leads to karma. And because you put an action, there will be some reward, some result, which becomes karma phala, or fruit of your action, which becomes your destiny. Or your karma is your destiny, or your sanchit karma. And that is how the cycle of birth and death continues. Yeah, it is only because of our wrong identification that we are this body, we are this mind and intelligence. Moment you have that, the natural process is, it raises the desire. Desire needs action. Action will give you result, and that result becomes your karma phal. And that to enjoy that karma, you come back again. Your Sanchit karma becomes prarabdha karma. Moment you prarabdha karma is exhausted, you create new agami karma, you take next birth and continue. So the root cause of the birth and death cycle is the ignorance, the avidya. And what is avidya? That you are this body, mind, intelligence. Moment you know that that is ignorance, then how do you remove the ignorance? How can you remove the ignorance? By gaining the right knowledge. Moment you have a right knowledge, what is the right knowledge? I am consciousness. I am that. And when you are so engrossed, so established, so sure I am that, all that activity that happens as if you are playing a role. Yeah, you're just performing as playing a role in the movie or in the drama. And whatever action that you take will give you result. You accept that result as the prasad, as the gift from the God. It reduces your agami karma. And that is the sure way of getting out of the birth and death cycle. The only way is to be sure that I am that. I am Atma. I am pure Atma. And then continue your activity as you're doing right now, whatever. Just as a playing a role. No attachment. Just playing a role. Playing a role of a mother, sister, wife, husband, whatever. Manager, employee, whatever. Just play a role. I would stop here and let us spend a couple of minutes with eyes closed and contemplate on what we speak, what we heard. As I said, stay with the question. Keep asking question to yourself. And yourself, the jivatma or smaller self, will try to find the capital self, the higher self. But the process of trying is more important than actually finding the capital self or higher self. Higher self will reveal itself. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, God, for giving us air to breathe. Thank you, God, for giving us water to drink. Thank you, God, for giving us food, sun for energy. Thank you, God, for giving us food to eat. Thank you, God, for giving us good health and happiness. Thank you, God, for giving us positivity. Thank you, God, for giving us all that we need. Thank you, God, for your love, your protection, your guidance, your blessings. Thank you, God, for the existence. Thank you for giving me a chance to serve you.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day.